Hello and welcome to a special live stream. As you know, I'm Lee Bradley. This is Dan Webb.
Hi, how's it going?
But we've got exciting new people here.
We have Matt and Will from Just Add Water.
Hello.
Woo! We need an audience, don't we? Really?
Yeah, like
Applause
cheers. So what we're doing today is we are showing off, I'm going to say it the right way around, it's Oddworld, Abe's Oddysee, new and tasty on Xbox One. You won't have seen it anywhere else probably. This is...
Definitely.
You called it a world exclusive or something ridiculous earlier.
It's effectively a world exclusive. The Xbox One version of this game has not been seen, right?
That's yeah.
So there we go.
There you go. So it's very special indeed. We're going to be opening up for questions later, so you can get involved. We're also going to be running a competition. Have you done the thing, Dan?
Yes, it's giveaway Thursday. I'm just waiting on Alex to clean last week's entries off.
So in a minute, if you do exclamation mark giveaways or giveaway. Giveaway,
there we go.
You'll find out exactly how to enter the competition. You can win codes for this game, which we'll be putting out tomorrow, along with the release of the game on the Xbox fucking marketplace, or whatever it's called.
And the actual question is, when is the game out? Which Leah's just given you the answer.
Oh, is it really? You didn't tell me that.
So it's a good start.
There you go.
So chaps, you've come quite a far way to get here, right? You're northerners.
All the way from snowy Leeds.
Snowy Leeds.
Yeah.
So we met Lorne at GDC and we had an entire conversation because I was living in Sheffield at the time, and we were talking about the Otley Run.
Yeah.
Have you done the Otley Run?
We haven't done it yet. No, we should probably do that when.
Before it's too late.
Yeah.
You should explain what it is, Dan.
So the Otley Run is it a mile?
It's probably more than a mile, I think.
It's a very long road full of pubs, and you're meant to go down and drink in every pub.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. We are British, so that's what we tend to do. But after tomorrow, then all the versions of the game are out, and that means then you can actually celebrate, right?
Not quite all of them. No.
Oh, not quite all of them. Oh, okay. But nearly.
Yeah.
So we're getting closer.
Over halfway.
Over halfway. We're getting there.
Wait, so what are the other ones?
We've got PlayStation 3 coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, brilliant.
Vita.
PlayStation Vita.
Yep.
Wii U.
Wii U.
And Wii U, alright.
There's no end to it all.
Yeah.
That's enthusiasm for you.
No worries. There you go. We're totally in this now. Got tea as well.
Tea, talking about pubs.
Yeah.
And it's only been 4 minutes. Effectively.
And I swore, sorry.
Swore. Yeah, we do swear. So if you want to swear, feel free to swear.
So give us a rough kind of overview of what the game is and what you've done to it.
So Oddworld Abe's Oddysee was the classic 1997 puzzle platforming game. We've taken that and completely revamped it, remade it from the ground up. It's the same overall game, but we've tinkered with every single aspect of it. So like graphics obviously totally changed into 3D now. It's all smooth scrolling cameras. All the audio's been overhauled. All the voices have been re-recorded. All the cutscenes have been remade. But it's the same lovable Abe at the core.
How long did it take? That's quite an undertaking.
So what was it? About 2 years in total, start to finish. Around that.
Finish roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah, it was a big job.
And can you explain the relationship between the studios? Because it was Oddworld Inhabitants that made the original.
Yes.
And you guys that are kind of like the custodians of the brand. How does it work?
So Oddworld Inhabitants still own the IP, and we. Will works for Oddworld Inhabitants.
Okay.
I'm at Just Add Water, so we were employed to build the game for them, essentially.
So I got that wrong earlier. I apologise.
That's alright.
So you're the ones getting your hands dirty.
Yeah,
Right.
getting stuck in and tinkering with the codes.
I was talking with some other games journalists the other day about Lorne.
Yeah.
And we decided that he's the coolest game developer in the world.
Yeah.
When I saw him at GDC, he arrived on a motorbike and he walked in the lobby like it was the Bill Murray coming in the bowling alley in Kingpin, like high fives on everybody, schmoozing everyone. He's quite a character, isn't he?
He is, yeah. Yeah.
Which we sat down as well. Everyone was walking past and going, "Hey, Lorne," is like, "Hey," and he knows everyone by name as well.
Yeah, he came over and worked with us in the office for a while, and he ended up like that with the people in the local pub and everything.
Oh really? I'm not surprised.
Amazing.
I'm not surprised. So tell us what's going on. What's the setup for the game?
Well, we want
The setup for the game, the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've just seen Abe fall from ignorance He was a happy meat factory worker scrubbing away at the floors of Rupture Farms when he overheard a meeting, learning that his bosses are going to turn him and the other slaves at Rupture Farms into the next meat product.
So now you got to
The happy
escape.
consumers of Oddworld.
Yeah, absolutely,
So
right.
now,
So you
got eight.
begin the game on the run, all sirens blaring.
I hadn't seen the PS4 version, so this is the first time I've seen the truly next-gen version.
Wow,
It's
okay.
very pretty.
Yeah,
You guys have done a lot.
it's been a big overhaul.
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
You changed engines like halfway through development, didn't you?
Yeah. A little earlier than halfway, I would say. But
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of that was redone.
Now, I was saying earlier, my main memory of this game is that it was really hard.
It was, yeah. Like, yeah, I think I'm with you there that it was kind of a little too hard for me at the time, and a lot of people said the same thing, that, you know, they loved Abe, they loved the character, and they loved the world and all the atmosphere, but the difficulty was just so brutally punishing that a lot of people didn't really get that far into it. So that was definitely something we addressed. You know, if we want people to be able to see the whole thing, if they can. So we've introduced difficulty modes. So, you know, if it is too hard, you can tune it down to easy mode. Well, there's 3 difficulty modes: easy, medium, hard.
Okay.
Hard being essentially like classic hardcore difficulty.
Okay.
One shot will kill you.
Right.
You have to really be careful and sneak around everywhere. Easy mode is a lot more forgiving, so you can take a few hits and you can recover from mistakes a little more.
That sounds more my speed. I was saying that they gave, I'm pretty sure it was Rich who reminded me about this, there was a cover disc on Official PlayStation magazine in 1997, it must have been, right?
Yeah.
Because that's when the game came out. I don't think I could even complete the demo. That's how bad I was.
Wow. The games have changed a bit since then, right?
Yeah, they're a lot less, they're a lot more forgiving now, aren't they?
But the experience is there if you want the traditional old school
Absolutely.
experience, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, we didn't want to... we didn't just want to get rid of that for all the people who liked it for those reasons. So we've kept, you now got the option.
does that make it harder to develop games these days then, considering you've got to
Yeah.
cater for both audiences effectively with one
Yeah.
game?
I mean, try to be smart about it and give yourself just, some simple tools to just tweak some numbers. But yeah, there's definitely scenarios where you set up a level and have it working perfectly, and then someone will test it in like hard mode and it'll just be absolutely impossible.
Yeah.
Or conversely, in easy mode, it's like this is no longer even a challenge. Like, you can just run straight through everything. So yeah, you have to just keep going back and tweaking numbers really.
So what are we playing in now? Is this easy or normal or?
I put it on normal.
Oh, okay. So how does normal rate to the old school normal?
Yeah, what's the
It's
difference?
easier.
It's easier.
In what way?
Abe has a little bit of health now.
Okay.
If I
So you can
sneak
check.
down and get a little bit of shot, I
yeah.
lose some birds, which are my representation of health.
Okay.
I've got a few fewer birds. Actually, I've
So that's a feature that we borrowed from Munch's Oddysee. You had the halo of birds that represented your health.
And obviously, what this game does is it doesn't have like UI stuff, right?
Yeah.
You've got to represent it in a way that doesn't.
Exactly, yes. We didn't want to have health bars stuck to the screen or anything like that, because, I mean, the original game, they did a great job, I think, in showing all of that information through the world and the characters. So, of course we wanted...
Diegetically.
Exactly.
Check me out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, right. I went to university and did film.
So we wanted to obviously maintain that kind of really elegant style.
Yeah.
That's something I'm personally a huge fan of.
Yeah, the clean UI makes it a lot better, right? Rather than having health bars everywhere.
Yeah.
It's such an evocative world as well. It'd be a shame to kind of muddy that in any way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I mean, anywhere you can push characterization, and Abe's the star of the show, so you really want all attention to be on him.
Yeah.
Just because you're kind of getting through it without much bother, can you explain the kind of basic gameplay?
The basic gameplay is you walk around, you run around, you sneak around, and you have to avoid the guards, such as this guy. who are trying to stop you from escaping the
Death
factory.
count 1.
Death count 1. But it's intentional, that doesn't count.
Yeah. This is what I said the other day, right? I intentionally, actually, the game.
Okay, we can have independent arbiters.
Okay, so here we go.
One of our stream viewers set up a website called reserodeaths.co.uk, and they keep a tally of every time we die in a session, right? We were playing Bloodborne, and like all of the Souls games, there's an encounter at the start where you just can't survive. You're going to die no matter what. He claims it's not a death. It's totally a death, right?
I've not said a word.
Think carefully.
Your leading question, it's not a death, right? No, the question to ask is it a death, yes or no?
It's an unavoidable death, so
It's
it would
part
be,
of the game, right? So it's
yeah.
part of the narrative, it's part of the structure. I just said
It's
that
not
it
a
was.
fail.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
But it is a death.
Yeah.
It's not called reserofails.co.uk.
We'd run out of counters if that was the case.
Now, with regards to the gameplay, remind me, is there not some kind of language that you use?
Yeah, we've got the GameSpeak system,
Okay.
which is still here in all its glory. So your Madokan buddies are just going about their work, and you can speak to them. You can say hello and follow me, which is probably the thing that everybody remembers.
Right.
You.
That was one, by the way.
There's a lot more Madokans to rescue in this game than there was in the original.
Oh, really? Okay.
There used to be 99,
Right.
now there's 299.
Oh, wow.
So
Trying not to draw attention.
we brought the Aulia GameSpeak over from Abe's Exodus, which allowed you to. I don't know if you remember in the original game, you had to say hello, follow me to individual
Okay.
Madokans one at a time. Now you can just say Aulia and get them to follow you as a group.
Okay, all right.
So it kind of smooths over that a lot. Well, you can just get them to run into mines. It's
As long as you
subtle.
don't. As long as you don't die, that's all that matters. Right?
Kind of related to what we were talking about before, people's expectations of games, not just in terms of difficulty, are different now
Yeah.
in terms of usability. So were there
Yeah.
many other things that you had to do like that for modern audiences?
Yeah, a ton of stuff across the board, really. I don't think there's any aspect of the game that we didn't really just rethink as we're putting it in. You know, like, should we keep it the same way, or is there a way we can streamline that? So, like, a small example right now: if you stand right on that edge, so if you crouch on the edge, so you used to have to stand up and then climb down.
I see, all right.
Now you can just go straight from there.
Okay, all right.
Like, so lots of tiny little tweaks like this just to smooth over the process of just getting from A to B, essentially. Like, we don't want people to have to fight with the controls. We want it just to be doing what they're intending to do.
Okay.
Minimum fuss.
Be honest with me, at some point during those 2 years you must have been like, why didn't we just change the graphics? Because it's a big old job that you did.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's probably bigger than I think a lot of people expected it would be, but I think it's definitely been worth it. It's paid off.
Now,
Yeah.
you're going to have to answer for Lorne now. One of the other things that Lorne said when we spoke to him was that depending on how well this game goes down, you'd like to do it with the rest of the series. Where do you stand on that at the moment?
That's what we'd like to do. Yeah, I mean, the plan was to revive the Oddworld brand, as it were, and obviously we'd still love to do that. It really depends on the success of New and Tasty, so we're focusing all our efforts on making that, you know, as good as it can be right now.
Okay, so if you want more people, you got to buy it.
Yeah.
How's it been so far? Obviously, it's launched on the PlayStation 4 already. How was the reception on that in terms of?
We've had a great response from critics and fans, and yeah, I think everyone's very pleased with it. Yeah.
It's such a tricky job dealing with those kind of hardcore fans,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because they're like, especially when even though you're changing the game, you know, for the good of the game, people get it's like sacred.
Yeah. Yeah.
It must have been difficult before the game came out when you were trying to communicate stuff, and they were like, "Whoa, you're changing it."
I mean, yeah, like, it's a constant balancing act, really. Like, on one hand, you don't. What's the point in doing it if you're not going to change something?
Right.
You know, like, you can just play the old game.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you don't want to change it too much, because then it's not the same thing anymore. Why not just start from scratch and build something all new? So yeah, I mean, every step of the way, really, it was like finding that sweet spot in the middle of taking the original game as a solid foundation, like a good template, and then looking at where we can, crank it up to 11 essentially, and push the stuff that worked and smooth out the kinks that didn't work.
And the old experience is still there for them as well, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I've never quite understood that. It's like you're changing the game, but the old experience is still there. So
Yeah.
Well,
play
people twist things in their memories, don't they? Do you know what I mean? Rose tinted
Nostalgia.
glasses smooth out those edges.
Yeah.
So I suppose your job was to create the game of their memories.
Yeah, like
You know
I think
what I
one of the nicest compliments we had was that it's how people remembered the game to be, but then like when they actually go back and look at the original game, it's like, oh, maybe it didn't age quite in the way I thought it had. I mean, the original game does still hold up, though. Having said that, I think it's stood the test of time, and it was quite ahead of its time back then as well.
Are there ports of it on PlayStation? The original, in its original state. Did that ever happen?
To other platforms, do you mean?
No, sorry, on like that you can get on PlayStation 3 now.
Yeah.
So it was,
It's
right?
on the PlayStation Store.
It's a
Yeah.
PS1 classic, so you can play on
It's a PS1
PS3,
classic.
Vita,
Yeah.
PSP.
Apes Odyssey and Apes Exodus. Yeah. So Will's just found a secret area here, tucked away. You just stumbled across it.
Wow.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of these tucked away in
You shouldn't have
all sorts
done
of
it.
nooks and crannies.
No,
Yeah, you don't go in the spikes. Spikes are
Is that
bad.
5?
well, I wanted to show that this is a hard secret. I have
this
to
is-
actually deliberately do that. Sounds so good.
This is what I've been saying for weeks now, and people keep adding death counts on it. So.
Just demonstrating the mechanics, right?
Exactly, right? It's like, I'm trying to show someone that the game is hard, so I die a lot. Usually I wouldn't die at all. That's what I keep telling myself anyway.
Team Coffee in the chat is asking how much the game is.
Let me think.
Have I put you on the spot there?
yeah.
Sorry.
Go on, Rich, our resident news guy,
Say $19.99.
and £14.99, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember seeing
Yes.
that before.
Correct.
All right, cool.
Thanks, Rich. Thank you. Yeah, you can't actually see Rich, but he's in the background doing news, as he always is. He'll be back later.
Tell us a little bit about your role. What is it that you do?
Me personally, I am a designer at Just Add Water. I'm the designer at Just Add Water.
Okay.
And so my responsibility is primarily gameplay, from kind of a functional level, I guess. So like, how does it feel to play? What's the challenge? What kind of what's the layout of all the environments? That sort of stuff. So we have an art team who will make those environments look nice. We'll have programmers who will be making it work the way it's intended to work. And I'm kind of somewhere in the middle of that, spinning some plates and making sure it all sticks together as a cohesive whole.
How did you get into it? What's your background?
My background, I started out just tinkering with free software like RPG Maker and Half-Life level editor and all that sort of stuff, just in my spare time while I was at college, just messing around with stuff, and then eventually kind of started to realise that this is something that could be a full-time career. I was like, yeah, I want to get on that.
Did you start at
So-
Just Add Water?
No, I've worked in a couple of other studios. Worked for EA and Climax Studios in the past.
Tell us some game names. Sorry, Dan.
No, that's all right.
My first game was a puzzle game called Create, which
Okay, I don't remember that one.
no, not too many people have heard of that one. And I worked on Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2,
Okay.
and then I worked on a Vita game called Smart As. Which
I
was
remember
kind
that.
of a brain
Yeah.
training sort of thing.
Yeah. Wait,
Um,
so were you Bright Light?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you know Catherine Woolley?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Look at the name dropping. So you effectively got into it the hard way then. I mean, these days, Unity's free,
Yeah.
Unreal's free,
Yeah.
so there's a lot more for you to, if you want to get into games development, to explore and just tinker.
Absolutely.
Whereas
yeah.
you had to go the proper hard.
Yeah, I went
Kinda.
through university, like game design
Oh, really?
course and
Okay.
everything. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely opened up in the last few years.
Yeah.
It just you can just jump in and make stuff really easily for free, and get it out there to a huge group of people, which is just amazing. Like,
Yeah, absolutely, right.
I still love to do that. When I get spare lunch break or something like that. Just
Had you tinker on the
yeah,
side?
yeah.
Do you guys have game jams and stuff?
We've been talking about it. We never got around to doing it. We wanted to take Elam from this and do like a kind of endless runner style thing, just to mess around with, but just a fun like internal idea.
There was some chatter about, well, like you said it yourself, about kind of relaunching the series, not just by revisiting the old ones, but by doing some new experience.
New stuff, yeah.
It's still on the cards should everything fall into place.
Ideally, that's hopefully where it would lead to.
We've had a small amount of fun with that.
Yeah.
Got Alpha's Escape.
That's right, yeah. We did a bonus, like a DLC chapter called Alpha's Escape, so we finished up on New and Tasty, and some of the team moved on to, it's like straight onto Alpha's Escape, where we basically took all the mechanics, all the characters that we've got in the main game, and sort of dug up a load of ideas that we had throughout development of new scenarios, new challenges that we could come up with, and packaged it all up into this brutally hard.
Oh, it's hard, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's like you've got to rescue one Murdocan called Alf, who shows up in Abe's Exodus the first time. And you go through this level, find him working in the bar, and get him back out again without dying, hopefully.
That must have been fun for you to kind of be free of what went before.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was great fun. Yeah, but then also having that as a really nice foundation of like a great kind of toolkit to work with, because all the characters and all the mechanics are just work really well together. So
forgive me. So that DLC is out on PlayStation. Is it coming out alongside the game tomorrow on Xbox One?
It's not at launch.
Okay.
No.
Have you got a date for it at all yet?
Nope.
There's a man just off camera shaking his head, looking very authoritative. But it is coming. Can you at least say that?
It's yes.
It is. Yeah. The man's nodding.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. So where are we now?
We're now in the Free Fire Zone.
Okay.
Do you want to describe the Free Fire Zone?
One of the deadly security zones that surround the factory.
Okay.
There shouldn't be any escape from here. I'm going to do my best.
But Abe snuck out using his
Good old Abe.
yeah.
Always getting into trouble.
Oh dear.
There
You
we
can
go.
see these big
Managed
steam zones, we call them. That was one of the things we had to change from the original game. They were originally like shadows, basically, just dark patches. But because the game was in 2D, it was a really clear read that you just stepped into, your silhouette disappeared behind this kind of black shape, and that was it. You were clearly hidden. Now we've got this 3D camera. It just didn't work at all. It didn't read. Like, you could tilt the camera and Abe would just be sort of silhouetted again against the sky, and it was like, how is no one seeing him there? So we had to sort of make that a bit more volumetric, as it were.
I've spoken to people about this, and I've been at GDC with talks about it. The Mark of the Ninja guys did it a little while back.
Right.
They talked about the advantage of doing Mark of the Ninja is that it's very, like you're saying, it's very easy to communicate when you're safe and when you're not.
Yeah.
But in 3D, suddenly everything goes out the window. That's why you get see-through wall kind of mechanics and all of that kind of stuff. So it's,
I think being
challenge.
2D, having 2D gameplay helps a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's really clear, like, are you on the same platform? And if you're up a little bit higher, then you've got this really strict rule that they can't see you when you're above or below them. Whereas in 3D, it's like, why don't you just look up?
Right.
I forgot how hard this actually is.
Yeah, we've
You make it look pretty
Yeah,
easy.
right.
this is a section we tweaked a little bit, so all these mines and scanners are new here.
So Alex described you as the biggest Oddworld fan in the world, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your background.
So my role is as the community manager of Oddworld Inhabitants.
Okay.
And I come from the fan community.
Okay.
Okay.
And I was a little bit sought out to fill a position, which I really love.
Yeah.
That's the dream. You've got the dream job, right?
That's it.
I worked hard.
Well, you're not in the interview anymore. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
You've got the job. I think that's something you see more and more, and it's a good move, right? Community people taken from the community.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So were you running your own site? What was the deal?
I did have my own website, my own little fan site. I was contributing to a few others as well, forums and the
Okay.
like.
Were you?
And
Did you join before this started, or halfway through? Or
I joined just out water.
Okay.
Back when they first got a hold of Oddworld.
All right. All right.
It turned out they were in my neck of the woods.
I see.
Near
Oh,
Leeds.
yeah, that's handy, right?
Yeah.
There you go. So the stars aligned, and now you got your dream job. It's nice.
A lot of requests on the chat for farts.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
we still got the farts. Yeah.
This isn't putting it out there.
Is there a fart counter?
Yeah, well,
We could set up
start
reserofarts.co.uk.
One.
Hey. Have we got the sound out? Where's the mix?
Right, we can't hear it here, but I can. Right, we're going to turn
We
it
turn
right
it
now.
up. Go.
Right, ready?
Oh god, wow.
Hey.
You just deafened everyone with the fart sound. I apologise at home if you can't hear anything anymore. But it was worth it.
Here we go. I've got another question from the stream about the Scrabs. Why do they fight each other if they enter another Scrab's territory?
They are territorial.
There you go.
There you go.
That
It's
was
as
from,
simple as that.
that was from Playframe. They're just not sociable chaps, Playframe.
No.
I was going to read this one out, but it's asking me to put a dress on. So we'll leave that.
But yeah, we tend to have a lot of things in the office where we have competitions mid-streams, and whoever loses gets a bet.
It's
and we have
always
to
me.
wear a dress.
It's always me.
Yeah.
I had to wear my wife's dress on the stream.
Designated T-boy this week.
Yeah, he lost another-
enjoyed it.
Yeah, Lee keeps seeming to losing the challenges. So I think we should set Lee a challenge now. Look at this, putting him on the spot, right?
No, we're already having one later. I've got to dress up like Hulk bloody Hogan.
Oh, okay, yeah, there is that.
How far into the game are we now? Because you've been rattling through it, like percentage-wise.
Maybe 10%.
10%, all right.
Maybe a
You think?
little further.
I mean, there are a lot of secret areas I haven't gone into.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's the general idea of the game is you can get right through to the end and skip a lot if you want to, but if you are really compassionate and want to save your buddies, you're going to have to dig a bit deeper, and you're going to have to find all those secret areas and do things the hard way, basically, to rescue all the Medokans.
I mean, you could do that, but you could also, go and get more sharp.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
Is there a... Because as you know, I didn't even get past the demo. Is there like a good ending and a bad ending, depending on how many people you
There is,
rescue?
yeah, same as the original game. So if you get the majority rescued, you'll get the good ending. Yeah.
Okay.
So what are the achievements like? Is it a hard list? Is it?
It's a bit of a mix. Yeah, there's some that are really, really tricky to get.
What's the hardest?
The hardest one is the New and Hasty achievement, which is complete the game rescuing all the Medokans in under 3 hours.
Oh my god.
Ouch. That's pretty hardcore.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
So we had some races in the office, like right before release, to see who could get the fastest time, and it was around that kind of ballpark.
And how did you get on? Did you win?
I don't think I won. I didn't get a prize.
Disappointing.
Oh, you didn't get your prize.
So tell us about the achievements in regards of who comes up with the ideas and what's the process?
It was kind of a bit of a group effort, really. So we just kind of spoke around the office, like anyone got any ideas, chip in stuff, see which ones are going to be the most fun to try out. We also opened it up to the community as well, so we got a lot of fan
Of course you did,
submissions.
yeah.
So some of the ones in there are directly from the fans. The names for them, wasn't it, I believe?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I could even
Yeah, we
show
ran
them.
it, didn't we?
yeah we did. Were there any that you had to get rid of because they were just too hard? Tell us about the ones that didn't make the cut. Like how long did it take you to settle on 3 hours?
About 3 hours.
Somebody doing a run of the game.
Yeah.
What is the quickest anyone's done it in the office?
Or anywhere, because it's out now. What's the speedrun record? Do you know?
I'm not sure. Do you know?
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, I think in the office we got maybe around 2.5.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe a record. Our tester Martin's the fastest at it. He knows all the tricks. So
Just so
I'm sure
people
he's got
don't,
less than that.
just so people don't get confused. For your average player, this game takes a long time to beat, right?
Yeah. So we're looking at sort of 10, 12, maybe more if you look for everything and die a lot.
Okay. Which you probably will.
You probably
right?
will.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we all know it inside out, so we can race through.
A lot of us knew it inside out before we started.
It's true, yeah.
In a hypothetical world where all of them get remastered, what one are you looking forward to most? Remastered's the wrong word, isn't it? Built from the ground up.
Yeah.
Remade. Remake? Remake.
Remade, yeah.
Ground up remake.
Yeah, we'll go the ground up. A new and tasty remake.
Have you got a pick?
This one.
Oh, really? That's the cheesiest media trained answer I've ever heard.
Wait till the next one. We're going to ask you the same question. You're going to
Yeah,
this
this
one.
one.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I changed my mind. Having seen this one, I now think that.
You'd be like, that last one was rubbish.
It's always the way, though, right? It's a Molyneux, basically. It's like, it's the best game ever, and then it comes out, it's like, I'm not happy with it. Hold on a minute.
The next one we're going to make all the mistakes fixed.
Yeah, exactly. But in this one, when you put it out, there's no mistakes. There's no mistakes.
So we've seen inside the factory, and we've seen kind of outside on the outskirts. What other environments will we expect to see?
We've got, so coming up is Mosaic Lines, which is a kind of holy caves of the Mudokons, and full of like shrines and temples and things like that. You travel out into the wilderness to the temples of the Scrabs and the Paramites,
Okay.
which get pretty nasty, and you get to explore a lot more of the bowels of Rupture Farms as well. So some nasty, grimy industrial zones.
What did they do to deserve to be taken and used in this way?
What's the motivation?
Yeah. And what's the motivation of the Rupture Farms people?
Well, the motivation of Rupture Farms is profit.
Yeah. All right. So they
Profit
just
above
all
all
right,
else.
They
Okay.
have to meet the profit quotas for the next financial quarter,
Okay.
as many of us do.
Yeah.
So it's understandable, right? Good guys.
So in this scenario, you're the Rupture Farms people. So that's what you're saying. That's the analogy we're using. And we're the Mudokon.
Do you feel the need to escape?
Don't answer that. So have you done any cool stuff with the environments? Obviously, it's very 3D now, in terms of bringing the environments to life. You've got it on the forefront, but I mean in terms of the background. I mean, you've done a lot of animations and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like every opportunity we could really, we push that as far as we can, give a lot of depth to the backgrounds, and I mean, like you may have seen earlier in Rupture Farms, like all the massive conveyor belts just going off into the distance with rows and rows of barrels. We were able to really kind of sell the scale of it.
Coming up with the moving machinery for Rupture Farms was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
The original, with the limited memory of the PlayStation. Although there were a few scrolling barrels here and there, and that was it. Now there's animals in cages,
Oh, nice.
saws going off.
Next gen, yeah.
And you get to see the whole kind of production line as well if you follow it. You actually go through in reverse order, but there's, they're bringing in the scraps from the stockyards, packaging them up in cages, sending them up into the big meat saws to grind them up, packing that into pulp, putting the pulp into the barrels, shipping the barrels out.
So the whole process,
you
got
see
it
the whole
covered.
process, yeah.
Right.
Is there any new content in terms of Easter eggs and stuff like that? Did you find anything like that in?
Yeah. There's a few secret things.
Have people found them on the PlayStation 4 version yet? Or is the completely new stuff for Xbox One people? Or stuff that people haven't found yet?
Is there anything?
Yeah, any secrets?
No one's
That's a
found?
secret. Get some world
You
experience.
know the best answer to this is yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that because there is.
Is there actually genuinely? I'm confused now.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if everyone's found everything.
Okay, alright.
So quite possibly.
Right. Fair enough. Remember, if you do ! Giveaway,
Yes.
you will get the information to enter a competition in order to win a copy of the game on Xbox One. I said the answer earlier. It's Googleable. Don't stress about it too much.
The idea of the question isn't really to puzzle people, otherwise we wouldn't have asked anything.
It's a
simple.
bit like You Say We Pay on with Richard and Judy. They make it nice and easy
Yeah.
for you just so they can give you stuff.
So the game's out tomorrow, but the question is, when is the game out?
Yeah, Dan's Judy.
That at the award ceremony where a child came in.
Is that where your brain goes to straight away? When we talk about
Judy, it
Judy?
is, yeah.
It was my paw.
Oh, it's a touching moment.
Then I fell.
And I'm talking about Judy's cleavage.
Down.
I apologise. It's not the first time.
So this is an example of
And smashed my
slightly
head.
redone cutscene, so following the same script,
When
the same kind of
something
rhythm and
face
everything,
appeared
but this whole section here is like totally
And
revamped.
said I was dead.
Push what we can do
Said our
and
land
modern
was
tech.
changing.
Looks pretty. Any differences between the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 versions? In any
Told me
way,
my
shape or
fate
form?
No, they're pretty
Was to
pretty close.
rescue the
Yeah.
rest.
Pretty close.
Identical.
Essentially the same.
Yeah.
Alright.
So has the audio been redone as well in terms of obviously the score, but
Yeah,
the voices as well?
completely, yeah.
Everything's
100%.
literally been redone,
Yeah,
right? There was
redone.
no old assets.
Don't think so. No.
No, the old assets were referred to and used as blueprints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially a lot of the old
And
archive
facing
models
these creatures.
from a long time ago.
Oh, so all that stuff still existed. It didn't get stuck in a digital bin somewhere.
Most of it. An amount.
So in terms of kind of like, if you were to play this after having played the original, almost pixel perfect in terms of sizes of levels and stuff and length jumps.
Often in
and,
places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's nothing that hasn't been slightly jigged.
Yeah, yeah. We use that as a starting point.
Yeah.
Block the levels out, basically exactly the same, and then kind of jumped in there using the new control scheme and everything, and see,
yeah.
like, what doesn't work anymore. What can we push, and like, can we just stretch this bit where you're being chased out so it's a huge long nail biting encounter rather than just like a little screen to screen sort of thing.
Were there any times you attempted to change it a little bit more than the actual original formula?
I personally, like, when I started out, I was really scared to do that because I was like,
You'd be
it's
killed,
a
right?
huge responsibility here, and I don't want to come and start throwing my weight around and like just mess everything up. But
Right, guys, I got this great idea.
yeah.
We should put a hat.
He's a monkey now. People love monkeys.
What Abe was always missing was a gun.
Masks.
Yeah,
The masks
got
are all new.
These are brand new masks.
Yeah. So we wanted to get across the idea that these Mudokons are different to the ones that are trapped in Roger Farms. These are like the natives, essentially.
Right.
So we base a lot of this on concept art and ideas from the rest of the Oddworld universe.
Did you get a chance to talk? I don't know what the deal is with the original designers. Are those people still around?
I think a lot of them have moved on to. I mean, the studio doesn't exist anymore as it was then, but
Yeah.
a lot of them have moved on to other well-known games. I think a lot of them are still working in the industry.
But we did have quite a few people from the original team.
We did, yeah,
pitch in with their own bits of help. Obviously, we had Lorne Lanning.
yeah, who did all the voices of Abe, Sliggs, Gluckens, Alf, yeah,
Everyone.
everyone
Pretty much everyone.
Everyone.
He's got Hollywood connections, right? What?
Yeah.
Has he been a producer or an actor, or what's his
He's
deal?
from Hollywood. He's a CG producer.
Yeah, that's where he came
that's
from originally,
right.
right?
Yeah.
Then he got into games in
That's
the
right.
90s.
Yeah,
I
you
remember
would.
him telling us.
Okay. He
Fascinating
looks like a
bloke.
man from Hollywood.
He does, right?
Well, if you go back down, there's
Let's go down.
so the birds we were talking about earlier, which represent your health.
Yeah.
In the original game, they were just kind of scattered around and you disturb them and they'd fly off. Whereas now, if you find some, you can chant near them and you get a bit of health back.
Okay, that's nice.
So if you keep an eye out, you can kind of spot these things dotted around. So again, it's like keeping it in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
world.
And it's a bonus from observing the natural world.
Yeah.
Which is very much Abe's journey of discovery.
Yeah.
That sounds like a media train line.
I'm just a big fan.
Well,
Another one.
I like that.
What we got there? Oh,
Yeah, so I'm a stranger. I'm one of
Yeah.
these city folks.
okay.
Abe's not the first Mudokon to have escaped factory.
Right.
So these native Mudokons who have somehow managed to cling on to the old ways, they're used to getting these city folk out here in the wild, sort of trying to mess things up.
Okay.
Damn city folks.
Hmm?
What are they doing in the background?
They're meditating.
Okay.
I missed the
Weirdly
password.
hypnotic. It's like,
There we go.
So what's he doing? You've got to parrot back what he says.
That's right. And we don't have sound, but...
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
No, it's fine, because we've added another little graphical cue.
There you
the
go.
colours,
Yeah,
right?
smooth.
Notes coming out, yeah.
Yeah, the original game didn't have that, so if you're playing with the sound off late at night in your bedroom,
Right.
don't want to disturb mum and dad.
Right. I'm disappointed that the password doesn't involve farting.
It did.
Oh, did it? I missed that.
One whistle
Oh,
one way,
beautiful.
another the other way,
beautiful.
The fart's the full stop at the end.
and then a rear whistle.
The fast, the
real
fart's
whistle.
the full stop.
What is it with British developers and farting? Because it's a big thing that they, you know what, we're just going to stick a fart in there.
Yeah, Molyneux loves a fart,
Yeah.
doesn't he? Yeah, it's true.
I can only think of 2 games where that's possible, obviously this and Fable. I can't think of any other games that you can actually fart on cue.
There's a Wikipedia page tucked away somewhere dedicated just to this subject.
If there isn't, after this stream there will be.
Booger Man, you could do that in that as
Oh
well.
yeah? Oh yeah?
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
See, good knowledge.
Binding of Isaac.
Binding of
Could you?
Isaac.
Oh, of course you can, yeah.
Oh,
Bodily
Hey.
function,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Lee.
right.
I
Yeah,
have not played Binding of Isaac, but Lee has, and
I
when
forgot
going,
about
yeah,
that.
only 2.
I remember like the little puddles of wee,
Yeah.
but like you said, any bodily function. Sorry. Right, let's see what people are saying in the chat.
Yeah.
If there's any questions, ask them now. Can't read most of these.
Are they all to do with bodily functions?
It's our community.
Yeah, if you have any questions for the developers, stick it in the chat and we shall endeavour to get them answered.
Yeah, we've got about 10 minutes left, and then the last 5 minutes we'll announce the winners.
You need to get the password
I
right.
did it wrong.
Yeah.
Oh no! But look, it's
I'm still alive,
Yeah,
so it's not death.
Oh, I guess, and it's to prove to people that it's actually live as well, and this
Yeah.
isn't some B-roll that we're just running in the background.
Speaking of bees,
Nice.
There's some question marks over the question because the game's kind of got a number of release dates.
What, on Xbox One? Oh, because of...
Did you specify Xbox One?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Oh, did you? Well,
To
then
view with the chance of winning 1 of 10 copies of New and Tasty on Xbox One, tell us when the game is out here. Yeah, maybe not. Oh, it doesn't matter. I'm not really using it for
don't worry about
accuracy
it.
in terms of
Just put
release
like
date.
1966 and be fine.
Yeah, there's a good chance that you could write anything when you enter, and I will count you. That wasn't the plan. But yeah, sorry, I didn't specify. I specified the platform first. But after years of writing, I know not to repeat myself in the same sentence.
Alright, so we've got a couple of questions that we've kind of touched on before, but I'll ask them again. One from Thango, who's the guy that made the Resero Devs website, says that now that you've finished this, are you all heading on to new products within the studio?
We're still focusing a lot of our attention on this, on the various different
PlayStation
platforms.
3,
and-
PS Vita,
Yeah.
Wii U?
Wii U,
all
right?
that,
Those
yeah.
are the-
Yeah. So that's really our core focus at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have release dates for all those? Yeah.
No.
No. So it's just Xbox One version's out. Move on to the next version. Move on to the next version.
I mean, there is some overlap, but yeah.
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 Starscream's got a question as well. He says if Just Add Water could recreate any other game from the mid to late 90s, what would they do?
Oh, brilliant.
I'm going to think about what mine would be.
I'm going to think about what mine would be.
And it,
I knew
Yeah.
Richard
That's not
said
late
Streets of Rage.
90s though, is it?
What did he say? I thought he said
Mid to late 90s. Isn't Streets of Rage like 93?
3.
Streets of Rage 3. That's Rich in the background.
There you
there.
go.
there's so many.
Rich has answered.
I've got this weird obsession this week with Jumping Flash. I've just been watching loads of videos of it.
Is that the one
thinking
where
how
you're in
cool
the
it looks.
doors and you come out the doors and you shoot?
No, that's Fade to Black. Are you thinking of?
Is that Fade to Black?
The way you're the
Alright.
guy, like the Flash. Yeah.
Am I really?
So
Alright.
Jumping Flash was the one where you're like this robot rabbit thing, and it was like first-person platforming, which sounds awful.
I don't remember that at all.
It's just you've got like a super huge double, triple jump,
Okay.
and you're going around just like collecting carrots and things. I really love it.
That's Jack
Yeah,
Rabbit.
that's
Yeah.
jazz.
Yeah.
I think it's
Okay, that's a good answer. I like that one.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I've got a weird fascination with low poly, like early 3D visuals.
That's a thing now again as well.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. It's kind of like pixel art has gone through.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
anyone can do pixel art now. Let's do low poly.
It's funny watching indies kind of catch up through the ages. Isn't it? They'll be right there soon.
Yeah.
Photorealistic in
Yeah.
5 years. Right?
What about yourself?
Myself?
You can't say
I'm
this.
What about the sequel?
Any mid to late 90s game? Just one that you love.
Mid to late 90s. Probably Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot.
Ah, that's a great shout.
Alright, cool.
Right, I've got a question here. What's the single most difficult part in the production of this game? That was from Scoped.
Single most difficult part.
This guy.
This guy, Elam. Yeah, Elam was pretty tricky to get feeling just right.
Hey there. Follow me.
What was difficult about it?
I mean, it's with Abe, you kind of got a rough idea of how he should move and what it should feel like, just because almost every platform game's got a humanoid character on 2 legs who stands upright for the most part, whereas Elam's like this massive lumbering thing who leans right over, so there's a lot of technical issues that come with that, animation and all that sort of stuff. I would say like the switch to a scrolling camera though was, I mean, it affected every part of the game. It's not really like a single thing that you could pinpoint, but there were so many other issues that came out of that, like switching it to not being flip screen anymore, that just changed level design and difficulty in so many different ways. Like everything had to be rethought, really.
Oh, you did so well. So
This is actually a new section that's been extended, essentially, added in.
too long, obviously.
Only by one jump.
So Cooper asks, how was it working with Microsoft? Obviously, Lorne was very outspoken about the whole Microsoft relationship.
We've had no problems, really. It's
Yeah.
a very smooth process. Yeah.
This is Idea Xbox, is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Because you notice much of a
No,
difference between, obviously, Idea Xbox has grown and grown and grown, and now it's a huge entity. Obviously, Chris Charla coming in was a big thing for Microsoft. And now there's a new European guy now, right?
Right.
I can't remember his name. I mean, how is it working with Chris and co?
To be honest, I personally don't have much involvement. We just kind of make the game and the bosses handle that stuff. But I think it's gone pretty smoothly.
Yeah.
I think everyone's been happy with it.
Oh, the same one!
Alright, we've got a couple more questions. What does Mudokon meat taste like?
Chicken.
Chicken. Everything tastes like chicken, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
Alright, that's good. Croesus, ask your question again, mate, because I can't see it.
Wait, how do you know?
I don't know what.
No, not
Because they
you.
evolved from birds.
Oh, of course.
Okay, so there's actually a logical reason behind it. It wasn't just that everything tastes like chicken.
Yeah. Actually, everything tastes like Madukan.
Everything tastes like Madukan.
I'm saying it wrong, aren't I?
Which came
Mudokon.
first, the Madukan or the egg?
Oh god. How many Madokans were harmed during the recreation of this game?
Uncountable.
Yeah.
Uncountable. We're going to tell Peter.
It's like a mass genocide of Madukans.
Wyatt127 asks, is this game similar to the Ninja Gaiden series? Yes.
Virtually identical.
Virtually. McDuckin sandwich, is that a thing?
That sounds good. I don't know.
I like it, that was Helium Prime. That wasn't me just coming up with that. Well, we've got about 3 minutes before we then start to draw the winners.
Yeah, so if you want to enter the competition, do ! giveaway. You get the question, answer it, you'll be put in a draw. And we will do that at the end of the stream. And hopefully you get your codes tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow, so you won't get them now. It's not out till tomorrow. Oh, what's the question again? Oh, when's again then? And everyone pretty much got it right as well. One person even bought, pick me, it's out tomorrow. I like the guy, ingenuity.
Mitch Owl says,
Ciao.
I'm really waiting for the guy playing to punch one of them in the face.
What, one of us or one of them?
Oh, well, yeah, don't do that. Yeah, don't do that.
We've got more streaming to do.
Yeah, so regulars will be back at 5 o'clock to do our regular.
More earlier.
Oh, really?
So at 5 we start our normal stream.
Right.
From 3:30 till 5, I'm going to carry on with Blood Bowl.
There you go. It's a stream extravaganza today.
Yeah. So at 5 we're doing a WWE wrestling match, and the loser wears Hulk Hogan outfit in the next stream because it's WrestleMania this weekend.
Oh, of course.
So we're doing something to, and then after that, I think what we did was, I say Borderlands.
Oh yeah, Borderlands, we've installed it.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah. Right, we've got 2 more minutes. Now's your last chance to enter.
What size shoe does Abe wear? Some quality questions. That's from Biohazard 2M.
He doesn't.
He
But
doesn't.
he's barefoot.
If he could wear trainers, Nike Air Max. Isn't it Nike Air Max Day today?
Was it?
Yeah,
Why is there a
I-
day for that?
I bizarrely saw it on Twitter earlier on. I think it's Air Max Day today.
There's too many days. There's like bring a sandwich to work day. There's a ridiculousness.
Looks like he's a size 10.
Yeah, I know, right?
But that could just be that his body's small.
Yeah.
Got a big old thing.
How tall is he? He has a height, right?
He's 5'7".
5'7".
Oh, he's probably like a
Oh,
size 6 then.
No, he's
they're
got
pretty big.
feet. Yeah.
Alright, Scope's got a question. As developers, what's the most exciting prospect for future game development? / where is the most exciting direction games are heading? That's a big question.
I'm pretty excited about VR.
Okay.
Just about to ask you
Personally,
that if you
yeah.
didn't say that.
I had a go on an Oculus last year,
Okay.
so it's still an early version, and like it really impressed me. So I think it's going to be a really tough process to kind of work out all the problems with that, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah,
That's what we love
like
doing. So.
It's come a long way in just the last 6 months, right?
Yeah.
They're saying that Project Morpheus is... The refresh rate was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was, I can't remember what it was, but it's something insane.
Yeah, and
120 hertz.
yeah, that was it. 120 hertz, and what's Valve's new thing? I forget the name.
Yeah.
Vive.
Vive
Right?
with the the lighthouse is like the room sensors. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Some
that-
really cool stuff.
And like somebody was saying that the problems with VR were completely eradicated with that in terms of motion sickness and whatnot. So,
It's good that there's competition as well because they seem to be all pushing each
Yeah,
other on,
right.
right?
Yeah.
and it's weird that now languishing in third seems to be Oculus Rift, when that was the one that came out the gates and set the standard. So,
I just find it like there's so many interesting problems that have come out of it. Like I was reading something yesterday that having a nose rendered at the bottom of the screen like reduces your VR sickness
That's interesting.
Really?
massively. They did some A/B testing, and like the people who had a nose got far fewer of them were sick.
oh wow.
Not physically sick, but felt
Yeah,
sick.
yeah.
And but the interesting thing was like hardly anyone actually noticed that it was there at all.
Oh, you're joking.
It's just that it,
How bizarre.
so like, there's all these weird things that never had to worry about before, and all of a sudden we're having to kind of
Yeah, I'm now
follow this.
looking at just. Oh, well,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah, I do see that all the time.
Yeah, because my first experience of VR was live on a stage in front of hundreds and hundreds of people.
Oh, wow.
I was bricking it, thinking I would get motion sickness, and no, it's all right. But yeah, I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
I was hoping you'd fall off the stage.
We were all hoping that you'd be sick and then fall off the stage. We were all talking about it before.
The Twitch stream was sold. Like, come and watch Dad be sick and fall off the stage. No, cheers, guys. I really appreciate this. Right, we've got 3 minutes left. And we're nearly close to our 1,000 follows on our account, which we're going to give a console away as well. So if you're not following, give us a follow. And then next week we'll give a console away because we're those kind of people. Yeah. Right then, let's give away 10 of these. Right, Lee, you're gonna.
What we do?
No, I was going to get you to do the. Write down the winners, but I'll just copy and paste into a Word doc. It's going to be a lot easier.
Alright, whilst you do that, Scope's got one last question. With how much crowdsourcing has grown in the last few years, do you envision a fall in the mega developers? I suppose he means publishers, right? With the rise of crowdfunding.
I think, to be honest, I think we've already started to see that. I think it's becoming a lot easier for smaller developers to do it themselves, essentially. I don't think you'll ever see big ones completely disappear. I think there's still room for both. I think we're just going to see an expansion. Yeah.
More options are
Broadening.
available to everyone.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, cool.
Right, we're going to go through these one by one. This might take a while. The first winner is Ollie.
Is
Ollie
it
Alfred,
really?
Yeah.
Ollie, you've won, mate. Congratulations.
So Ollie has been with us since, because we've only been streaming for like 5 months. Well, not even that. And Ollie's been there ever since the first stream, and every time we do a giveaway, he never wins. So he just happens to be first out.
Well done, Ollie.
Next up is Otacon62.
Otacon62. What do they do to get in touch with us?
I'll get in touch with them.
Alright, we will message you either later today or tomorrow.
Right, and then next up is Kroll17.
Kroll17. Congratulations, mate. You've won a code for the Xbox One version of Oddworld, Abe's Oddysee, New and Tasty.
Which is out when, Lee?
Which is out tomorrow on the Xbox thingy. And it's already out on PlayStation 4's thingy.
And
Right.
Windows, Mac and Linux.
And those ones too.
The next one out is Scoped.
Scoped! Who
So-
asked loads of questions.
Yeah, so I feel like that one's a bit like a karma one, right?
You earned that one, mate.
And next out is Thango.
Really?
Yeah.
Thango, all the regulars. Thango,
Screaming fix.
congratulations. Are you writing down who's winning?
Yeah, I'm copy and pasting
Alright,
every
cool,
time I
cool,
click. Right, hold on. Thango again. He can't win two.
Your random number generator things on the
Well, it's
wrong.
random, right? The Dope Fish is next.
The Dope Fish, congratulations. You've won a copy of Oddworld New and Tasty on Xbox One.
To get your code, you have to let us know what is the dopest fish. So usually new people in our stream, we ask them a random question.
Yeah, we always ask. We've had a few today that we've ignored.
Yeah. Ashcash147 is the next one out.
Congratulations, Ash Cash. You've won a code.
How many have I done now?
Don't know, mate.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Everyone in the thing's like, it's fix, not fix. It's not fix, fix.
7. Next out is Hissing Meat.
Hissing Meat's a semi-regular. Well done, Hissing Meat. Cat like that one.
I think it's 2 more.
Two more winners, 2 chances left to win.
A Falcon 90.
A Falcon 90.
A Falcon 90? A Falcon 90? Well, no.
The dopest fish is a orca, says Bradicate.
And the last winner is Gupti.
Gupti!
So I think that's 10. Let me just count. So Ollie, Otacon62, Kroll17, Scoped, Thango, Dopefish, Ashcat, Cash, Hissing Meat, a Falcon, and Gupti. So that's it. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. We'll be back in about 29 minutes. Thank you very much to the Just Add Water and Oddworld inhabitants, guys.
Thank you very much for coming.
You were great. Thank you for your questions on the audience. And we'll see you in about 29 minutes. Thanks again, guys. And
Thank you for having us.
good luck with the launch tomorrow. And that was fun. Cheers, guys.
So yeah, you got to do an awkward thing now while Dan presses the button. Bye!